Hello everybody, and I hope you're doing well. I'm Faith Martin, and I'm here today to talk to you about the bighorn sheep, the threats they face, and what's being done to save the species. So the bighorn sheep is in the order Artiodactyla, the family Bovidae, and the genus Ovis. And there's four species of bighorn sheep. You've got the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, which is Ovis canadensis, the stone bighorn sheep, which is Ovis dallystonii, the desert bighorn sheep, which is Ovis canadensis nelson, and the Dow bighorn sheep, which is Ovis dally, and they're also considered more of a thin horn sheep. Their horns aren't as large as the other species of bighorn sheep. Bighorn sheep, the rams, or males, and the ewes, the females, they have large horns that spiral or curl around their face, and males can weigh up to 30 pounds. They're made of keratin, and the females are less pronounced and thinner. And their horns will grow throughout their lifetime, and they have spirals on them or rings on them, like a tree, that show their age. And that's a process called grooming. Now, bighorn sheep can be found in California, Utah, Arizona, the Yukon, Nevada, and other areas. And they're found in like alpine forests, mountain slopes, and they are on areas, like rocky cliffs that are rugged, because it makes it easy for them to escape. Now, in the wintertime, they like to stay in areas, an elevation of about 2,500 to 5,000 feet, and their annual snowfall of less than about 60 inches, because trying to get food in deep snow is really difficult. In the summertime, they're probably at about 6,000 to 5,000 feet. And bighorn sheep are opportunistic feeders, which means that they can eat, lots of different things. They do like to eat shrubs, forbs, grasses. That's the main thing they eat. But if food is scarce, then they might eat like young twigs, leaves, and shoots, that sort of stuff. Now, the desert bighorn sheep will use its horns to get into the barrel cactus and get the rich pulp with a lot of nutrients in it, and eat that. And bighorn sheep are social animals, but they live in two separate groups. The mature males, or the rams, will be in one group, and in the other group you have the ewes, the lambs, and the young rams. They may have about 8 to 10 animals normally in their group, but they can have up to 100. Now, the groups will get together during the breeding season, or what's called rut, and that's between like August through December. Males have a social hierarchy, where the horn size and body size determines, I guess you'd say, who's in charge. Rams will clash their horns together to determine the leadership and dominance. Now, males will also clash their horns during rut for females. Females and males reach sexual maturity around 2 years of age, and the female's gestation lasts about 6 months, and they give birth in the spring, around late February to May, to one lamb, and twins are rare. Now, if in their first summer, about less than 50% of the lambs will survive. Now, if they do survive, then they would have a lifespan of, for the males, about 9 to 10 years, or about 9 to 12 years, and the females is 10 to 14 years. Now, the desert bighorn sheep has been known to live up to 20 years, and the Dow up to 16 years. Now, the threats include habitat loss, human disturbance, predation, natural predation from like wolves, coyotes, mountain lions, and then disease from domesticated animals like sheep and cattle, and even dogs have been known to attack them. But there's a ova pneumonia that the bighorn sheep get from domesticated sheep. And it's a bacterial pneumonia, and it usually kills the young, not so much the adults. And throughout the western and U.S. and Canada, there are less than about 45,000 small isolated groups of bighorn sheep. Now, there is a bighorn sheep called the Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep, and it's considered a unique form of bighorn sheep and only found in the Sierra Nevada. And that's according to genetic evidence. They say that this bighorn sheep is rarer than the California condor and also rarer than the Florida panther. And it is considered endangered. And it's one of the most endangered mammals in North America. Now, the bighorn sheep is considered of least concern on the IUCN Red List, but like with the Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep, there are still issues and some that are critically endangered. So things that are being done are scientists are doing research on disease, trying to relocate the bighorn sheep in order to have populations in more areas. They are doing things to keep, human disturbance down, because bighorn sheep don't do well around humans. And they are modifying underpasses to make they're like corridors for the animals to be able to pass through so they're not getting hit. And also, they're doing research, and they've got signs in Rocky Mountain National Park that tell people, if the bighorn sheep are closer, to keep your distance, to try to keep the disturbance down, and the signs tell you what to do, so that you're not disturbing them. So there's a lot of things that are being done to help the bighorn sheep, but I know that there's more that could be done. And what we could do is we can research and find out what there is that we can do, keep our domestic animals away from the bighorn sheep if we're in an area close to them. The military and putting installations in areas is also a cause. So maybe, talk to people to help, find areas where the bighorn sheep, won't come in conflict with what they're doing. But I know that through our learning, if we continue learning about them and we can share with others of what can be done, and try, if we come in contact with bighorn sheep, try to keep our distance from them so that we keep that stress level down, and to help them, for future populations, conservation, and do what we can on our part. We can never stop learning. If you continue learning, you're going to learn and find ways to help them and other animals. So I just wanted to let you know what's going on with bighorn sheep, and thank you for listening, and hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and have a great day. Thank you.